since people do not stay up late before the work week starts, and research has shown that people tend to put on the most weight when they eat late dinners on Sunday. We found no studies that prove this to be true. So far, the experiment has not taken off. One local resident said they felt uncomfortable with the word dunch. It sounds like a racial epithet or an act of sexual perversion. I am a God-fearing man who has no interest in such activities. The criticism hasn't stopped Mr. Lawrence, though, who has taken a second mortgage on his house to keep his diner and Sunday dunch alive. I thought my wife would stop me, but instead, she left and took the kids. I'm fine with it. More dunch for me.
The diner owner decides that 4 p.m. Sunday is the best time for a whole new meal he calls dunch. Your next story of a Super Sunday comes from Amy Dickinson.
Good news for that subset of people who go to church on Sunday mornings hungover or maybe still drunk from Saturday night. And I'm not just talking about the clergy. You know the feeling. Sure, you love Jesus, but on Sunday mornings you just hate the sunlight. The smell of the communion wine makes you vomit in your mouth just a little bit. Or maybe you want to punch out the choir for singing so loudly. Reverend Mark Montgomery, an Anglican priest in Kent, England, asked churchgoers why they were skipping services on Sunday morning. A lot of them said they had to take their kids to sports games or that they wanted to go to the farmer's market. The ones who weren't lying said that sometimes they were just too hungover from partying the night before. Now members of Reverend Montgomery's parish have the option to worship a little less hungover on Sundays at 4 p.m. That's the perfect time. An hour after the headache has finally faded and an hour before the drinking begins. I'd like to suggest some simple changes to tailor this service to the needs of the congregation. For instance, sermons titled, "I love you, man. I'm not even tired." Or, "Oh my God, we should totally hang out more."
A church service in Britain at 4 p.m. on Sunday, just right for people who couldn't get out of bed on Sunday because of the Saturday night they had. Your last story of the Lord's Day Improved comes from Peter Gross.
Cyberdyne Systems is a budding software startup in notoriously competitive Silicon Valley. Founder and CEO Joshua Hirsch was looking for a way to boost output from his staff when he read a study in the New England Journal of Work-Life Balance that found that most people start thinking about going back to work at around 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Scientists identify this as the precise moment when people give up on both finishing the Sunday crossword puzzle and having fun with their family. "I had a brilliant idea," said Hirsch. "Well, to be fair, I was microdosing when I thought of it, so it may have been just a regular idea that I thought was brilliant." He instituted an optional 4 p.m. Sunday work session for his employees who wanted to get a jump on the work week. On the first Sunday, 45 of Cyberdyne's 50 employees showed up, while 5 future former employees didn't understand that at work, optional really means mandatory. Of course, once everyone comes in early, then early is on time, so the following Sunday, enthusiastic software designer Frank Romansky showed up at noon. So then people started coming in on Saturday night, and then Saturday morning, and then this week, not a single employee of Cyberdyne Systems went home for the weekend at all. Many have even begun sleeping at their desks, all except Romansky, who said, "Sleep? Why do you need to sleep? I'm telling teacher."
All right. So somebody somewhere decided to start doing something exactly at 4 p.m. on Sunday. Was it from Hari Kondabolu, a man who decided that'd be the perfect time to serve in his restaurant a new meal between dinner and lunch called dunch? Amy, in England, a church service for people who just can't get out of bed because of the drinking they did and can roll in at 4 p.m. Or from Peter Gross, a tech company that decided that the work week really starts at 4 p.m. on Sunday and made his employees adhere to that. Which of these is the real story of something happening at Sunday at 4?
Well, they also totally implausible. And as much as I would like to have Dunch, I think I'm going to go with Amy's church service.
You're going to go with Amy's church service, the 4 p.m. church service for people who need to sleep it off. The audience seems to agree. All right, well, we spoke to someone familiar with the real story to bring you the correct answer.
St. Gabriel's has added an additional 4 o'clock in the evening service to reach out and serve others, even those who've been overserved the night before.
That was the Reverend Canon Lisa Hackney James, the subdean at St. James Cathedral here in Chicago, talking about the 4 p.m. hungover church service. Congratulations, Karen, you got it right. Well done.
Thank you.
Earned a point for Amy. You've won our prize, the voice of your choice on your voicemail. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was really fun.
It was fun to talk to you. Take care. And now the game where we reward people who've already won a lot of awards. Speaking of which, Tracy Letts has won awards both for playwriting and acting. His plays include August, Osage County, Killer Joe, and The Minutes, which is coming to Broadway, with him, Blair Brown, and Armie Hammer in the cast. He is also, we are confident, the only person in the Festivus episode of Seinfeld who has won a Pulitzer Prize. Tracy Letts, welcome to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Even though I can go on and on about your plays that you've written, you're also a pretty accomplished actor. And for our radio audience, is there something that you are most well known for, that people recognize you for mostly?
A lot of salesmen in airports seem to recognize me from Homeland.
Right.
I find that a lot of those people are Homeland watchers.
Salesmen in airports.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I get a lot of that. Certainly the Festivus episode, though I don't much look like I did when I was in the Festivus episode.
Which of us does?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then these days, Ford versus Ferrari and Little Women are people are seeing those movies. So.
Yeah, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Now, this may change with The Minutes coming to Broadway, but your most, I think, famous play was August, Osage County, which won a Pulitzer Prize back in 2008. It is the greatest dysfunctional family play ever written. It's amazing, but it is, I am told, quite autobiographical.
It is, yeah. My grandfather committed suicide when I was 10 years old, and my grandmother, after that event, descended into years of downer addiction.
Yeah.
And that was the basis for the play, a subject that had been with me and part of my life for a very long time. What was very scary to find out was, upon writing the play and putting it in front of an audience, that apparently everybody in the audience had had the exact same experience.
Yeah. Did other members of your family who you grew up with see the play and comment upon it?
Oh, yeah. In fact, there's a story in the play about a stepfather/uncle who beats a member of the family with a claw hammer. And I remember the relative in their 70s at the time they saw the show saying to me afterwards, "How did you know the claw hammer story?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. It had just been passed around." And somebody said, "That happened to you?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, it happened to me. Damn near killed me."
Wow. So nobody got mad at you for airing out the family laundry.
You know, it's amazing. People like seeing themselves represented on stage.
I guess so.
They're bragging. You know that character that everyone hates? That was me.
I don't want to go on too much about it because people may not know the play, but the grandmother character in the play is truly one of the great, I don't know whether the word villain is right, but she's this monstrous person who takes pleasure in just destroying everybody she talks to.
Yeah, that's my grandmother.
Yeah.
My mom, when she read the play, and she was one of the first people ever to read it, and I knew it was very tough speaking about her mother, and I was a little fearful of what her reaction would be. And the first thing my mom said to me was, "You've been very kind to my mother."
But you're also an actor, of course. You've always been one, right? That was your first career. That's what you started doing.
It's kind of hard to know where one started and the other began. They've always kind of been on parallel tracks. I think I got a little more traction as an actor before I got a little traction as a playwright. But then I would focus on being a playwright for a while, and then an acting gig would come up. There's no plan. There's never been any plan.
Right. When you're on a set working in commercial stuff, TV, movies, do you ever have the temptation to go talk to the writer and maybe make a suggestion and say, well, I understand you want to do it this way, but my Pulitzer suggests an alternative?
I don't, and I'm told later on by some of the writers on staff that they were nervous about the fact that I was there, but I don't know. I've done the acting side of it for so long that who would want to hire me if I was going to show up and
That's
do that
true.
all the time,
That's
right?
true,
It'd
yeah.
be kind of obnoxious.
And you have 2 movies nominated for Best Picture. You're in Ford versus Ferrari and Little Women.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Really?
I got very lucky.
You're
with
the
that.
secret sauce. That's what it is.
I guess. I have one more question for you. You've spent your entire professional life mostly in the theater. Your wife is in the theater. Your friends are in the theater. Your collaborators in the theater. You go to see your friends' plays. What do you do, sir, when they are bad?
I lie.
Do you really? You go
Yes.
straight for the lie.
I lie, and I lie well.
Really?
I lie really well. And I want everybody to lie well when they see my plays and they don't like
Okay.
them. I think we should all get a lot better at that.
Really?
Because we're very good at it, if you think about it, in our day-to-day life.
Sure,
We lie
we
all the
constantly
time.
lie, yes.
And yet there are times when we see somebody's play, I was like, well, I have to be true to myself. I can't possibly lie to this person. Well, yes, you can. You just look them in the eye and you say, that was fantastic. That was extraordinary. I'll never forget.
Well, Tracy Letts, it is a pleasure to talk to you. We've invited you here to play a game we're calling
Tracy Letts. Tracy, let's not.
Sometimes it is wiser not to do something. We're going to ask you 3 questions about warnings given to people. Answer 2 correctly and you'll win a prize for our listener, the voice of your choice for your voicemail. Bill, who is Tracy Letts playing for?
Elizabeth Cook of Kissimmee, Florida.
All right. You ready to do this?
What if I knew her? Wouldn't that be strange if I knew her and I had some grudge against Elizabeth Cook of Kissimmee, Florida?
Tank it.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be awkward, but then again, it'd also be your next play. All right, you ready to do this?
Yes.
All right, first question. Foreign countries often issue travel warnings to people coming to the United States. Switzerland tells its citizens not to do what when they come here? A, say anything negative about Star Wars. B, pee in the street. Or C, go anywhere near Swiss Miss hot chocolate.
Pee in the street.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Have you traveled the world and seen sophisticated Europeans peeing in the street and knowing that that's what they do?
I've seen all manner of people peeing in the street.
Yes.
But that's so weird because, first of all, how often do people...
Apparently, the Swiss feel that we are touchy about this.
Oh, it's...
It must have happened enough that, Swiss citizens went back and were like, why didn't anyone tell me?
Exactly.
If you
There I
don't want me
was.
to do, you have to specifically say, do not pee in the street.
Absolutely. All right, that's very good. You were very confident on that. Next question. When winds of 60 miles an hour hit Toledo last February, the National Weather Service released an advisory warning people to use caution while doing what? A, walking small dogs who might blow away. B, wearing nuns' wimples. Or C, standing upright instead of the recommended crawling along the ground.
I'll go with the small animals.
Yes, you're right. Last February, the good people of Northern Ohio got a small dog warning, the first ever from the National Weather Service in Cleveland.
You also should not pee in the street.
Exactly. Yes. Here's your last question. You're really rocking through this. Back in the 90s, advisory stickers were one way for parents not to let kids listen to certain albums. And one of the first records to ever receive one of those stickers was which of these? A, Frank Zappa's Jazz from Hell, an album of completely instrumental music. B, brought to you by the letter F, it's Sesame Street's F the Police. Or C, David Lee Roth sings Sondheim.
Frank Zappa, instrumental music.
You're exactly right, Tracy Letts. The album had no lyrics at all, but one of the tracks was called G-Spot Tornado, so you know. You have to protect the kids. Bill, how did Tracy Letts do on our quiz?
He did great. Very few people get them all right, and you just did to win.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
3-0.
Thanks.
So you've got a Pulitzer, you've got a Tony. How does this feel in comparison?
It feels really good. I feel really good. I feel really, really good.
I'm glad.
Such a good liar.
And in fact, I'd like to thank a few people for my appearance here tonight.
I believe you. Tracy Letts is an actor and Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. His play, The Minutes, opens at the Court Theater on